with what happened 560 million years ago and 550 million years ago when we almost blew up the planet. Most of us down here are here for two purposes. One, because we were trapped in that drama and ended up down here and we had to re-evolve. Or two, because at some point in the game we decided to come in as a rescue mission to try to help the others. But there are things about the human lineage, about the Paradise Sons, that other of the stellar families don't like, and part of the Elohim don't like them. Some look at them as a cosmic virus that they would just like to extinguish. Others look at them as rowdy children that always have to be contained. And only the ones that are really, really, really good and know how to piss up and brown nose really well are going to be the ones that are allowed into higher evolution. Maybe they're right. But even if they are, it's still not fair. If this race is going to get into higher evolution and make a mess and blow up planets, there's a law of allowance in the ascended master levels that, no, it's not the right thing, but it's permitted as part of the growing experience. If the ascension teachings are given back to this race and they abuse them, like they did in the Atlantean periods and many other periods before that, where they enslave each other with them, or where they attempt to take over planetary systems with them, they will get back. You will get back what you put out. You will be given the knowledge that will give you power if you work with it. But only you can make the choice to use that power within the law of one that acknowledges that you're part of this whole universal scheme, and therefore your behavior and your attitudes must include even your worst of worst enemies. They are still part of that collective, and they may not recognize that, so you need to. That doesn't mean you let them walk on you, but it means you need to get yourself to the point where you're not walked on, where your strength and your power are yours. Then you become a healing force for the rest, because you realize ultimately we are all out of the same consciousness. Many people choose to call that God. You can look at God as a large scalar disk. You could say it's in the sky, but they're only relatives terms that have to do with dimensionalization. Consciousness is what it's all about. The manifestations of the illusion are things that consciousness does to play with itself, to teach itself things, to experience individuation. We are all manifestations of the consciousness of God. Even the negative people that try to hurt other people, they are still manifestations of the consciousness of God. The more you become aware of that concept, that you and them and everything else are manifestations of the consciousness of God, you will become aware that there are no sides. You will become aware that to pick up arms against someone else is picking up arms against yourself. You will become aware that for things to be good in your existence, you need to help make them good in others' existence. The people that understand that we are all from one consciousness the least are those who harm others the most. There are forces all the way up to D12 that have those problems. That's why we're here today. Many people, particularly the New Age movement, think that everything is light and love, and it is. But when you're in a polarity drama, there's a few more twists to that game. You have polarity issues from 12th dimension on down because of the way the energies are structured. And this isn't a lecture on Keylontic science, so I won't go into part of K, part of Chi, part of Cum, scalar grids, and how they're formed, but that's there too, and that's part of our teachings. If we can realize, see, I'm not a big bad person up here saying, oh, they're bad guys and we're good guys. It's not about good and bad value judgments. It's about what effects will certain attitudes and behaviors have on the evolution of the planet and the people on it. Everybody up there and everybody down here has some agenda. That agenda will either be good for this race as far as returning it to its original 12-strand pattern, or it will be not good for its race. So when I talk about the good guys and the bad guys, I love them all. But because many, many eons ago, when I came into the time matrix, I chose to honor the Emerald Covenant, which said humans have the right to evolve, re-evolve, to be what they once were. They have a right to be equal to the Elohim of the other families. In fact, Once humans are fully evolved, they will be superior to the ones who decided to sever themselves from the collective, as far as the Elohims go. Because the Elohim who chose to disengage from the higher Elohistic families have only, some of them have an 11-strand DNA-wise potential, which means they can embody 11 dimensions of consciousness. Many of them, the darkest ones, we call them the dark Elohim, were only able to hold 10 dimensions of consciousness because they severed their 8th dimensional connection and their 12th dimensional connection so they could have their freedom. They imprisoned themselves when they did that. They're stuck in time, and they don't have a source anymore, a complete infinite supply of energy coming through from their higher connections. They have to feed on other things in the time matrix. This is where our whole story is for eons back, of the dark side and the light side. It's all about the Elohim family fights. And we have been pawns in those fights for eons. This is the time, this is rare information that you're not even going to hear mostly in the New Age movement. A lot of those people get mad at me because I talk about the negative things too. Excuse me, if you're in a polarity drama, it helps to know you need to watch your back sometimes. Yes, you can enter Christ consciousness. And I'll tell you, Christ was very much aware of the fights in the Elohim families. That used to be part of the Bible. They told how different families came down and interbred with humans and mutated them. They were called the Nephilim. They talked about how there were feudings among the angels. They called them angels. You can call them angels, you can call them ETs. They're beings from higher consciousness. Not all ETs are angels, and not all angels are ETs, and not all angels are good guys. This is some of the stuff we need to realize when we start to get spiritual. If we can put away the old terms of angels, gods, things that people like go down on their knees and worship, and realize an angel is nothing more than a consciousness from D6 through D9. Archangels are about D9 through D11. Then you have avatars, then you have Rishi. They're not the highest echelon of things. Yet, when they communicate here, and most of the ones that like to communicate here are the ones that want to mess with your head. They want to get you into their paradigm, into their agenda. Some of them are trying to help raise humans just to hear. Some are trying to really just suck energy off humans. And others are representatives of the Elohai families that want to help you to get all the way back up to what you were. So when you're dealing with angels or anything else you might talk to out there, you need to do it carefully. You need to ask intelligent questions. Not just, an angel appeared to me, I've had my epiphany, I surrender my life to this angel and it will lead me home. Don't bet on it. You might. If you're fortunate and you have coding in your own DNA that has brought to you a higher frequency being, then very possibly that angel will help you. But if there are things in the DNA, which we all have, because the mutations that have been done here, that are bringing in some lower frequency patterns that you're not aware of or in control of, you could bring in something equivalent to what we call the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is simply the thing that would do the opposite of getting you to be an avatar. Okay?